So, connective tissue training. This is phase 2 of the Return to Prime program. What we're going to do here is target the connective tissue with very heavy static holds, lockout holds, heavy supports. They're called a variety of different things. In this case, I'm going to demonstrate lockout squats. So I'm going to stand here with the bar on my back, heavy weight, and just stand there. I'm going to do 1 minute intervals of a compression followed by 1 minute rest, during which I'm going to do decompression, which creates basically a bellows effect. Now, one of the issues with connective tissue training, with connective tissue in general, I should say, is it's very tough to get circulation through it. As we get older, connective tissue literally dries out and gets stiffer. So in order to combat that, what we need to do is use heavy weight to compress it and then decompress it, creating an action that basically sucks that fluid back into the connective tissue. So you're basically taking years off your connective tissue age by doing this. And this is actually pretty fantastic in how well it works. One of the best things you can do is take connective tissue feeding nutrients like collagen and vitamin C about 45 minutes to an hour before. So this stuff, these raw materials that you use to rebuild connective tissue, are actually circulating through your body as you're doing this training. So that's the perfect setup for actually really strengthening connective tissue. And some of the results people have gotten with this are incredible in terms of injury healing, injury prevention, just overall strength. It's fantastic stuff. So what I'm going to do here is a lockout hold using what's called a Mars bar. It's a form of safety squat bar. You can use just a regular bar. You can even use a squat machine or hack squat machine. The actual mechanism, like the bar, does not matter. So anything that gets compressive force down through your body is what we're looking for, whether it's a stabilized machine or a free weight bar. So I'm going to do a 1 minute static hold to get the compression, followed by a 1 minute rest to get decompression, and I'll be doing dead hangs from the chin-up bar. If you don't want to do dead hangs, you can also use the captain's chair, the ab chair, that sits you like that, and just let your lower body dangle and hang, and that's going to decompress your spinal cord, hips, knees, ankles, just about everything. So here's what that looks like, and I'll come back to you after. So this video is sped up to about 20 times speed. Now what I'm doing here is a 1 minute hold with about 800 pounds, just letting the weight sit on my skeletal structure, let the connective tissue take the load. We're looking to minimize muscle activation with this, so you really want to try and focus on, it sounds crazy, but relaxing as much as possible under that load so that your connective tissue, your bones, are really taking up the majority of that load. If you try and support a really heavy load with just muscle and really fight against it and really try to contract everything, that's going to burn you out way too fast. So as you're doing this, as you're kind of getting used to it, see if you can take a few deep breaths and actually let that weight just kind of settle onto you without contracting your muscles. In between every one of these sets, I'm doing a dead hang on the chin-up bar to decompress and again really allow the fluid to suck back in to the spinal cord, into the connective tissue, and really force that circulation, that hydraulic circulation, in through the connective tissue, which really is the primary benefit of this type of training. Alright, so that is what connective tissue training looks like. As you can see, it's very boring, it's very dull, there's nothing exciting about it, but essentially what you're doing is that compression, decompression cycle. So this is phase 2 of the Return to Prime program. This is the first 3 training days of that week. There are 2 other training days that use other various forms of connective tissue training that use a bit higher reps and are a bit more dynamic in terms of how they work. Using partial training, using loaded carries, those kind of things to give you some specific range of motion in the connective tissue strength and some specific stability training with connective tissue. So put all these together and you have a fantastic second phase of the program. So phase 1 is angiogenesis, which is creating new blood vessels to better feed your muscles and your connective tissue. Phase 2 that we went through, connective tissue training. Phase 3, hyperplasia, which is training to increase the number of your muscle fibers. Rather than just building them bigger, which we're also going to do, you're actually training to increase the number of these things as well. So this can turn you basically from a slow gainer into an easy gainer, which is fantastic. Phase 4, nervous system training, which is efficiency and activation. This is where everything kind of comes together and it's going to build massive strength very, very quickly. So that is kind of a nutshell of the Return to Prime program. This is phase 2 connective tissue training, and you can read more about it down below.